The Measure of a Man is a French film about a middle-aged married man who is in a period of job hunting, all the while simultaneously trying to be the best family man he can be, trying to keep his wife and his teenage handicapped son happy. He goes through a series of fruitless technicalities like Skype interviews, different evaluations, trainings. The couple even goes so far as to consider selling their precious mobile home until he finally lands a job as a security guard at a supermarket where he has to monitor, basically spy on the customers, and this will only contribute to his growing dissatisfaction. So you see, this film is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I would compare it to other films also about people going through a similar work-related crisis, thematically as well as visually, to the films the Dardenne brothers make, for example, especially 2 Days and One Night, which if you haven't seen and if you're not familiar with the Dardenne brothers, shame on you, my friend, shame. And also to 99 Homes, starring Andrew Garfield and Michael Shannon, a film about an unemployed young father who finally gets hired by a real estate broker, only to be faced by the most challenging of moral dilemmas. Both of these films are absolutely amazing. I suggest you check them out. Now, this film really resonated with me the first time I saw it, exactly a year ago, and I have rewatched it today, and I have to say I think it resonated with me this time even more. Without beating too much around the bush, I think this film is pretty much almost perfect. It has an absolutely exceptional performance by Vincent Lindon, sorry about the name, and all of the rest of the cast as well, which besides possibly the wife character, everyone else, all of the episodic characters, the ones who basically show up, most of them for a single scene, feel incredibly real. So much so that the first time I saw the film, I didn't know anything about it, and it took me many minutes to actually come to terms with the idea that this is not a documentary, that this is indeed a fictional film. Wow. I was just blown away by the sheer realism of certain scenes, especially the scenes in which our main character has to interrogate these shoplifters, these people who are just shamelessly stealing from the supermarket he is working at, and these people's reactions, or better yet, lack of any reactions, like the way they seem to be like cornered, like some mice. Their sheer body language just reduces them to having this very childlike demeanor about them. Those scenes are incredibly gut-wrenching. Now, I haven't done any research on this to find out if those people were actually real people, actual shoplifters. I highly doubt it, however, but if anyone knows anything about this and can confirm that those people were like really in that situation, damn, please let me know. Now, performances aside, I have to mention that the second time watching this film, I could really pay a closer attention to the camera work, which I have to be honest, didn't really impress me the first time I saw it, but now I kind of see the genius in that aspect as well. It's not anything special necessarily, it's not anything we haven't seen before, it's this very cinéma vérité style of filmmaking, this very realistic, minimalist, documentary-esque type of filmmaking that avoids any artificiality or artistic effect. We have seen this in the Romanian New Wave, I have talked about that a couple of times on my channel, or the films the Dardenne brothers make, for example. Every single shot is handheld, every single shot is shaky, maybe a little bit too shaky. I definitely think it would be less shaky if it was actual real life being filmed, but whatever, it didn't bother me at all. And if you pay close enough attention, you will notice that during certain shots, our view of the main character is somewhat obstructed, either by another person's head appearing in the frame or by the side of an open door. And I think that's absolutely deliberate. I think it really emphasizes the idea that this is a very uncertain period, this is a very uncertain phase this character is going through in his life. In a way, it's like a metaphor for this open door our character constantly wants to like find the opportunity to go through, and it is just the door is just shutting continuously in his face. The editing is also quite fantastic. It's every single scene lasts for exactly as long as it needs to last. Every single scene comes to its eventual logical conclusion. And yes, every scene does have a definite logical conclusion. Even in a very minimalist and realistic film like this, in which otherwise maybe some viewers who are not used to watching films like this would say that, oh, it's boring, nothing is happening. But that is completely not true. Even in some of the most seemingly banal scenes, something is happening. Some information is being communicated to the viewer. There are two scenes with the family I really like. In one of them, they are sitting at the table in their kitchen, eating dinner, cracking jokes. In the other one, they are dancing in their living room, having fun. Like, on a surface level, these would seem like pretty meaningless scenes, but in fact, we get to find out from these scenes everything like we basically need to know about this family. And that is like, okay, there are all of these problems. Even the son is somewhat struggling in school, but the basic idea is that this family is, the family dynamic is still intact. This family is a unified family, and that's the light at the end of the tunnel, basically. And I respect the film so much because while this is a pretty bleak story, it's not a heartbreaker. It's presenting you with cold hard facts. It's basically saying, okay, here, this is the world we live in. These are the problems the working class has to face on a day-to-day basis. And that's it. Deal with it. Pure and simple. And as a closing thought, I would like to say that there are certain films I watch, I enjoy, that I feel kind of stick with me or leave their mark on me, so to speak. Maybe just for a couple of hours, maybe a few days until maybe I make a review about it, maybe even a couple of weeks or maybe even a few months until the end of the year. But rarely, occasionally, there are certain films I feel will stick with me forever. And The Measure of a Man is one of those films. I'm so in love with this film. I completely adore it. I'm so happy I revisited it. I confirmed it to myself again that it truly is one of my favorite films of the past couple of years, not just the past year. And do I recommend it? What do you think? Thanks for watching my review, ladies and germs. I hope you check this movie out if you haven't already. Until I see you with other reviews, stay cool, stay awesome, stay safe, and all that good stuff. Goodbye.